25 of the worst plays this NFL season start with a play so bad, it hasn't happened in over 30 years.
Two-time Pro Bowler as the Packers, Wilson running for his life, and boy, he's going the wrong way. Wilson, he might get, oh my goodness.
I think Buddy must have forgotten what team he was on, because going 19 yards in the wrong direction was the worst carry by a running back in 31 years. But number 24 was even worse, where an NFL player ruined the easiest play of his entire life.
Murray is going to take a shot, open man, busted coverage, and Marvin Harrison dropped the ball with nobody around him.
But a missed catch was nothing like number 23 that had fans calling it the worst play they've ever seen.
Cross kick, look out. After all that, now the crowd can really get into the point.
What the hell was that, man? No wonder fans at the game booed him. Then people at home called it the worst punt they've ever seen. Said that he might be the first player to get cut in the middle of a game. And that the kick was so bad, he should be investigated by the FBI. But I might investigate the two players at number 22 who made their teammates take balls to the face.
Get them another stop. Oh, that is another bad snap. It's taken in by the Ravens. Baltimore is right there with Mike Green to jump on it.
They've been able to chew up a lot of clock. Seventh play. The drive football is loose. Live ball, and Tennessee has it.
That's crazy.
I wonder how good those taste. I wonder how number 21 happened. Because a play was so bad, people wanted coaches getting fired. Social media was filled with posts saying the Browns coach shouldn't have a job after this season, how terrible the coaching was, and even had people screaming to fire the coach. Because when the Browns were down just 2 points with the game on the line, they did this.
Shador, it's Judkins on the direct snap. He was supposed to pitch it, but didn't and couldn't. And now he's going to have to throw it, and he does, and it's incomplete.
And then there was going to be a throwback, and the whole thing is just a disaster.
Game over. Even the announcers couldn't believe they took out their quarterback to run a dumb play like that. But it wasn't as dumb as number 20, where a player gave his opponents free points.
In the pocket. Williams trying to get out of the pocket. He won't! Loses the ball, and the Steelers jump on top of it! It's a touchdown!
Caleb Williams' stupid mistake didn't just turn into the easiest touchdown his opponents ever got. Getting thrown around like a ragdoll turned into one of the NFL's funniest thumbnails all season. But, alright, those 5 plays are at the beginning for a reason, because the plays only got worse and worse and worse this season. But the player lied about it.
7-yard try now by Younghoe Koo, and he stumbled.
All he could say was,
the ball kind of slipped out at the bottom, so it was moving. I wasn't able to kick through the ball. The ball was moving when I was driving to it, so I just pulled up on it.
Your leg didn't get
No, I couldn't. As I was driving to it, the bottom of the ball was slipping out, so I just pulled up on it.
Now, I could see a player lying about a bad play, but at number 18, I never thought I'd see 4 players make their worst plays at the same time.
Lawrence keeps, airs it, Patrick off his hands, and somehow not intercepted.
All 4 of them had the chance to catch it and did that. I thought NFL players were supposed to be good.
So that was a fucking lie.
But at number 17, the next worst play made a grown man look like a little kid.
Once again, in yard, Noel has to climb the ladder to get it. And Noel emerging. Noel trying to get to the outside. Groupie just bounced off him like a rag doll.
No wonder that man got thrown around like a child. That kicker's 5'7" and barely weighs over 150 pounds. But at least he can say he tried making a good play, unlike number 16 that only happened because a player got cocky. When Jerry Jeudy made a big catch, he was about to start showing off when...
When he's got him, man, it's complete to Jeudy. Inside Raiders territory, fumbled the ball! It's picked up by the Raiders! Jeremy Chin knocked it away, and Roberts fell on top of it.
We're trying to make a play. Wide open. See 3 defenders right there out from the cut cross field. I ain't feeling behind me. Simple as that.
Yeah, whatever you say, man, you made one of the worst plays all season. Just like number 15 that got a player hated by an entire city. People in Philadelphia were pissed, because in the last game of the season, a win for their squad would give them home field advantage in the playoffs. So when they were on defense with things tied and not much time left, instead of running after the person with the ball, Keely Ringo literally turned his back and ran away.
Johnson, the fake, he'll run, he'll want to throw, he's going to get a touchdown! The Commanders have taken the lead! 1-yard touchdown run!
You have got to be kidding me. All because his stupid play cost the Eagles the game, and a better seed in the playoffs, it seemed like the entire city of Philly was coming after him.
Oh yeah, everyone is mad. He just runs away from him. He just decided that he didn't want to play football on that play.
And it wasn't just him. People from that city not only called it a dumbest football player of the year nominee, said he's such a loser, and started screaming about how bad the play was.
This might have been the most frustrating play I've ever seen in my life.
More fans than I can count were saying crazy things while telling the player he needed to be cut immediately. Damn. But if it was up to me, I'd cut the player at number 14, whose worst play came when they tried to switch sports.
Throw over the middle, kicked up in the air and dropped by Disley.
This is football, not football. Tight ends like you can't just kick the ball around like Lionel Messi. But we gotta completely switch things up with number 13. That's a play so bad, it almost sent a coach to the hospital.
Mariota's going to keep, but if he doesn't get out of bounds, he will.
I hope those 2 meaningless yards were worth it, man. Because running headfirst into the coach caused him to smash the back of his head on the ground and even nearly broke his nose, which is definitely too gruesome to show on YouTube. But at number 12, a player's worst plays got him compared to one of the worst players of all time. See, if you consider yourself an NFL fan, then you definitely know about Will Levis. If not, he's the Titans backup who recently lost the starting job after doing things like this.
3rd and goal. Levis looking. Levis tripped. He tried to shovel it. That ball is free.
Even this.
Levis gets, well, what else is new? Another flag.
And playing like one of the worst quarterbacks ever is exactly what had Vikings fans comparing him to their worst player this season. It all started with this.
1st and goal. Grossmer from the 5. Boy, gets tripped up.
But if literally doing a somersault and losing the ball wasn't bad enough, it got worse when he also did this.
He rolls, he's pressured, he's in trouble, heaves it up, oh no! A game-changing play from Ernest Jones.
Yeah, I genuinely think I could do better than that, but all right. That we're getting into the top 10 worst plays this season, things are about to be on a whole different level of terrible. Like a play so bad it got a player manhandled by his coach, a horrible play that had fans threatening a player's life. At number 10, the Saints' worst play happened while trying to copy one of the craziest plays of all time. The iconic play became forever known as the Philly Special. But as special as it was to them, this season, when the Saints tried copying them, something ass happened.
Orbit motion, it's a reverse. Olave going Philly Special, and it's intercepted by Cole Bishop at the 2-yard line, and up the sideline he goes.
Damn, but as awful as that was, thankfully it didn't get any players kicked off their team like at number 9.
To be a better coach. Kick from Boswell. Gibson returning. Oh, he loses the ball!
That fumble didn't just have the Jets going from possibly winning their first game to getting scored on, then eventually losing. It had the head coach preaching about how turnovers cost them the game.
Get that addressed, and we got to continue to work.
And that people would be held accountable. Then just 3 days later, news broke that the Jets were cutting the player for his mistake. Damn. Dude's worst play got him fired after the first game of the season. But at number 8, a play was so bad, it had people thinking the NFL was rigged. Before a matchup between 2 of the worst teams in the league, Raiders versus Browns, sports bettors assumed there wouldn't be too much scoring between them and decided to bet on the over, aka they expected both teams to combine for over only 37 points. So late in the game with the Browns, literally at their opponent's 39-yard line, instead of doing what every other team would do by kicking the field goal, they did what?
Unless the Browns get the ball back, he will finish 11 for 20, 208 yards. There is a flag down as Bojorquez punts this one out of bounds on the far side.
Deciding to punt in that situation was not only so unheard of that the NFL deleted the moment out of the official highlights, of course it kept the final score under 37 total points, which lost bettors thousands of dollars. That had people so pissed, they said crazy things while screaming about how the NFL was calling the shots and that it's completely rigged. But number 7 was twice as bad, when multiple NFL stars made the same 2 horrible mistakes in the same plays. The first came from Patrick Mahomes.
On 2nd down, picked off, Lloyd again.
And if throwing a terrible pass or looking stupid while trying to make a tackle wasn't bad enough, Joe Burrow's play was even worse.
From the 33. Oh my goodness! Look out here! Christian Benford!
No! What the fuck in the cell job is this?
fault. That's a lazy-ass pass.
But thankfully, that ass of a pass and attempt at a tackle only got him made fun of by Fly, because at number 6, a player's worst plays got him clowned by an NFL legend. Even though Bills receiver Keon Coleman was supposed to come into this season as the team's top option, being expected to dominate all season long, this man could never get open. He'd constantly drop easy passes, and he even gave up crucial fumbles, which we literally saw a player get fired for earlier in the video. Regardless, all those bad plays on top of cocky-looking dances during warm-ups like he didn't care didn't sit well with people, especially NFL legend Cam Newton.
I bet you need to know that folks ain't gonna keep being patient with you. That playful person that took the Buffalo City by storm in his first interview, and he sat down and was like, yeah, I love cookies, and he had the whole, all that was all cool, but we give that grace to young players. Big dog, you supposed to be our number 1.
Come on now.
And you're playing like a bum.
I bet you better catch that ball.
I bet you better start doing your job.
Oh my God, Cam, you didn't have to go off on him like that, but you could also clown the players at number 5, where the Jets' worst plays made them set an embarrassing NFL record this season. The Jets' defense was so bad that opposing quarterbacks didn't just throw 36 touchdowns from 515 passes, which totaled over 3,600 yards. Out of every single game the Jets played, the players had some of the worst hands I've ever seen and dropped more interceptions than I can count. Like, how the hell are this many players that bad, man? But even after not getting an interception in their final game against a terrible backup, the Jets did something that's never been done before. They became the first team since the NFL started recording interception stats in 1933 to not get a single one all season long. But I mean, Jets basically been ass forever, so I ain't surprised. That's why number 4 was so much worse. Had a people wanting the NFL to change their rules. Just keep your eyes on the ball.
Hurts, picked off, intercepted, and now the ball's out, and Hurts ends up with the ball in his hands. He fumbles. Chargers ball.
A horrible interception, then fumble in a matter of seconds? I don't think you can even do that in Madden because an NFL player never did it before since Jalen Hurts became the first player ever with 2 turnovers on the same play. That was so bad that fans wanted the NFL to change their rules.
Should there be a new rule in the NFL that if you turn it over twice in one play, you have to sit out the rest of the game? I've never seen that before. Have you ever seen that before?
No, I think he was the first player to do it, and also 0 touchdowns and had 5 total turnovers.
Now that would definitely be crazy. But at number 3, a play didn't just ruin a player's entire season, it lost his opponent thousands of dollars. It all came from this play.
Spencer Schrader kicks that through, but there is an injured player laid out at the 21-yard line.
Spencer Schrader.
Wow. And after a hit like that, even though it seemed like Colts kicker only needed trainers to help him off the field because he was a little banged up, turned out the player that took out his leg caused him to tear his ACL and MCL, which ended his entire season. So once something that devastating happened, the NFL reviewed the bad play and claimed it was unnecessary roughness, then fined the opponent over $5,000. But at number 2, an even worse play, got a player beat by his coach.
Be close. Oh my goodness. Boy, he extended it with his hand a little bit.
Letting the ball go before crossing the line made his coach act out of line. The coach got in the player's face and screamed, then dude literally punched him in the stomach, which became such a big situation even the news was talking about it. That was obviously something the Cardinals didn't want their team being associated with, so punching a player got the coach fined $100,000. But losing that much money is definitely not as bad as number 1, where the worst play of this entire season had a player being threatened to get killed. It was Ravens versus Steelers in a rivalry matchup that meant absolutely everything. A win sent either team to the playoffs, while a loss sent the other home with nothing. Now, the Ravens are used to these situations because it seems like every year, something unfortunate always happens that ends their Super Bowl dreams and makes them finish the year in disappointment. This game was supposed to be different though, especially after the Ravens started off hot and scored a touchdown, then eventually kicked a field goal to make it 10-0. But that's when they started to choke and eventually lost the lead. Fans everywhere were thinking this was about to be the same old story with another tragic loss until both teams wanted to win so badly, they kept trading huge plays to take over the lead.
3rd and 4. Steelers bring 4. Highsmith is there. Now reloads and throws to Flowers downfield. He's got it for a touchdown! Pulls the back. Valdez-Scantling bottom of the screen. Trying to get to the corner. In for the touchdown!
Did it
Jackson.
again.
Shot downfield. Zay Flowers again. He's going to go. Rodgers protected. Throws to Austin for the touchdown! It's 4th and 7, season on the line. Jackson lofting it up, and it is held on to by Isaiah Likely.
Once he made a crazy catch like that, the Ravens had real hope, knowing they only had an easy short field goal to make it into the playoffs. But that's when
the final play of the regular season for the final spot in the playoffs. Snap good. Holden. The kick is no good. It is wide right. And the Steelers are the champions of the North.
Nobody could believe it, and kicker Tyler Loop was absolutely devastated knowing his worst play just ruined the entire season for his entire team.
You know, it stings, it hurts for something like that, but having those guys have my back means the world to me.
But as emotional as anyone could tell that he was, instead of Ravens fans supporting him during this, the entire city was heated. People found his wife's Instagram and said horrible things. From praying their marriage fails, to saying they hope that she cheats on him. Others created AI videos of the player's coach throwing him in the trash. There was also an endless amounts of death threats he got, as well as comments like, just grab something and inject yourself to death. And leave the planet, please? You're f***ing horrendous? Wow. One mistake had the entire fan base turn on him and wish for him to be dead? Now that's crazy.